2014 Range Rover Sport, and I was laying in bed at night with the girlfriend, and all of a sudden the alarm just starts going honk, 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 and I jump out of bed thinking someone was screwing with the car, and it was nothing. I checked the doors and everything was still good. And the problem kept coming up, and it kind of happened more often and more often and more often. So on this, we're going to kind of look over everything that we can do to fix it yourself. We're going to see if we can solve the problem of the alarm just sounding with no reason. So number one thing to look at is all these sensors that are on this car, on the doors and everything else. They have little sensors in it. So when you lock your car, if someone's trying to mess with the car, you just have to throw the key far out of the way. If someone's trying to mess with it, the little sensor on it can pick that up and often activates the car. Now my keys are so close to the car that it knows that it's there, but a lot of times that will be it. And on that door is a small sensor that picks that up. Okay, so one of the other sensors is in the hood, and that's one common one that goes. The hood and the trunk both have the same kind of locking mechanism, and I'll show you, because we're going to take a look at them later. And they're right in here, right there. And inside that has a little sensor which knows that that hood is shut, so if someone's trying to break in or pop your hood, it has a sensor there that activates the alarm. And often a lot of crudge gets in there and dirt, and that dirt gets all over the sensor and then sets your alarm off. One of the common problems are these sensors in here. So all I'm going to do to clean them out, we're going to spray it with a little bit of WD-40 and leave that in there, because my guess is why my alarm's going off all the time is because some grease is built into this sensor here and activating the alarm because the car thinks that the hood's not open. So you can spray quite a bit on it. Now with these Range Rovers, you really have to, if you wanted to get to that part, you had to undo these clips just to get to it, and you can buy just the part. But we're going to see if this solves our problem, and I'm hoping it does, because the Range Rover dealership's about 200 miles away from where I am right now, and you can see from the house, we're way out on the middle of the ocean here in Nova Scotia, Canada, in a beautiful spot. So we're going to try this out first. So now there's two sensors here and two hood latches on these Range Rovers. Yeah, they look pretty dirty. You can see from the toothbrush there's a lot of grease and grime that gets on these parts. So I'm kind of thinking that that's my problem. Woo, look at that dirt. So then the other issue is our kid kind of hauled on this door the other day and hauled on it really, really hard when it was locked because he had to get something out of the car. I think he left a toy. So the sensor for this one here, if you come around, you can see it's right in here. So this door latch sensor can also activate your alarm. So you want to do these two. And you just get right in there with the WD-40 to try to get any grease that's on the actual thing. Now I brought a rag just in case it runs a little bit. And you're just going to grease it up and leave it in there for a while. Now after greasing it well, we're going to just work the door handle quite a few times. And you just want to literally just work it in. You know? And that will get all that WD-40 kind of down into it. So then the only other sensor that's on this car is going to be up there, and that's your trunk latch one. Now these you can just pop off. You take a little screwdriver on it, you can pop these right out and replace it. Now I don't think this is my problem because I've never had a false alarm on the trunk yet. But they are pretty easy to change, and you can buy just these parts and change them yourself. The door ones are a little more tricky because you have to take off the whole door panel. So these ones here, I'm hoping that's going to solve my problem. I'm going to give it a few hours and I'm going to lock up the car and see if the alarm just randomly turns on. Okay, so we're outside of my office, and of course my alarm just keeps going on. So I decided as soon as it turned on, I'd run down here and check the computer and see what it is. So to check your computer, you don't have to start the car all the way. Just press in on the start button. And if you can see, the sun's right in my eyes here, so we're going to go through this system right here. It might be a little bit too sunny. There. Too much glare from the sun. So what you want to do, right here on the steering wheel, just press your menu button. And you work your way into going and taking a look at the vehicle information. So when you're on here, you can see, you can check everything, and there's a thing for last alarm. Click last alarm, and then you can find out what the fault was. So now, like I had thought, that when my son hit pulled on my door, it detached the sensor. So now that I know that this door right here is the problem, I can order the part from Range Rover and put it in, since I'm so far away from the actual dealership, or go up to the dealership, because I do love looking around at new Range Rovers and do need to buy one soon, and get the part and put it on. So that's it. So now we know what the problem is 100%. Now we can start fixing it. Okay, so you might ask, why are you walking in the rain, John, to your office? Well, let me tell you the story. So Range Rover fixed the hood latch, even though I told them I thought it was the door handle, and even the car said door handle problem. They decided to fix the hood latch. So me not being a mechanic said, okay, fine, great, thanks for fixing it, glad it was under warranty and free. Drove home, and of course what happens? The car alarm sets off at 3 in the morning. Bloody hell, eh? So now, brought the Range Rover in yesterday, and they had the door handle ordered, and they call me up at 4 in the afternoon and say, hey John, we ordered the wrong part for your Range Rover. So they said they ordered the wrong part, and I said, alright. And they're like, but you can't have your car back tonight because the door's off the car and we're waiting for the part and it'll be here in the morning. So they offered me, of course, a user car to use. But when you work downtown Halifax and it's 4 o'clock and you have your next dinner appointment at 5 till 7, good luck doing that in time. So ended up having to spend the night here in Halifax with my best friend Zoo, and pretty much just wearing the same clothes I wore yesterday, which is pretty gross, but unfortunately I left all my stuff in my car. Pretty annoying. Okay, so finally got my car back from the Range Rover dealership here in Halifax, and they finally fixed my door handle. So exactly what I told them about a week ago. And of course they fixed the hood latch first, thinking that was the problem, and then I brought it back, and a little bit of a disaster. Brought it back actually 3 days ago. They brought it in, they did the analysis, and they said, yep, you're right John, you need a new door handle. Your kid really yanked on it hard and broke it. I said, that's what I told you a week ago. So anyways, left the car there that day. They called me up late afternoon saying, yeah, they have to order in the part. I said, no problem, order it in. They're like, yeah, but it's going to take another day. So, why a Range Rover dealership and the only one in Atlantic Canada doesn't carry spare parts for Range Rovers? Kind of beyond me. But anyways, they ordered the part, next day came. Guy calls me at 4 o'clock. And of course, that's why I was walking in the rain earlier. Says, hey John, we ordered the wrong door handle. And I'm just like, okay. This is just getting too much. How do you order the wrong door handle? Right? I mean, like, you guys sell these cars, you know them pretty well. So, kind of random there. And, of course, all my stuff, because I don't live here in Halifax, I live in Yarmouth, which is 300 kilometers away. So, quite the drive. All my luggage and stuff is in the back of the car. And, left me with pretty much the same clothes I wore yesterday. So, pretty gross. Can't wait to get home and change. But luckily I could crash at a friend's house and then had to walk to work, got caught in the rain. Didn't even bother going in. I don't like going into one of my offices looking like a drowned rat, so I just stayed at the dealership and waited for the car to get fixed. So thank God it's fixed. At my favorite restaurant, McDonald's, eating some lunch, and gonna drive back down to Yarmouth. So when your alarm's going off like that, luckily mine is still under warranty for another 5,000 plus miles. You pretty much have to take it in, because it could be the wiring, it could be a number of things. But once they told me what it was, and once I found out from the computer and figuring out how to actually find out about that, you can fix it yourself and buy the part. The only reason why I used the Range Rover dealership, and I kind of wish that I didn't, was because it's all under warranty, so it's not costing me anything. Here's the bill here, $0. Hopefully you can see that. And that's why I used it, but it ended up taking about 5 days for a very simple problem, which, you know, if you worked for me and you took 5 days and you didn't listen to me the first time I said something, you'd probably be fired, quite frankly, you know. But they're the only dealership here in Atlantic Canada, so I pretty much have to deal with it. And luckily they are a very nice bunch of guys. Just, I don't know how they get things wrong like that and order the wrong part and take this many days to fix one small issue. Especially when it's under warranty, I don't know how they make money, you know, besides when they sell a car. And of course I buy all my cars in the States now because it's cheaper, and dry them up here because I have a company in the States that owns the car. And yeah, so that's kind of it. But hopefully the problem's solved. And that's the end of the video. Hit subscribe because this car is getting older now. It's 2014. I got 95,000 miles on it. So we will be running into a lot of problems over the next year until I trade it in for a new one. So hit subscribe, watch the videos. Any other problems that come up with this car, I'll definitely post about them to fill in other buyers that are buying these cars now. Because they are a pretty affordable price and a good deal. Because as you can see, it is a very beautiful car and I absolutely love it. It's a pleasure to drive, and luckily so far not many big issues. And we'll see how it goes from there with the 2014 Range Rover Sport. Thank you.